Thursday. Let's see who we have here. Books Maps, Mary Frances, Amanda Green, Dark Shadow. Hello everyone who is here. Yeah, I don't know if Moxy's still working or not. I can check at the end. We've got a few things to do first, though. Those who aren't familiar, this is tonight, Looking Glass Go. Hi, Christian. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. So Looking Glass Go has these light forms, and tonight we're going to do Android Andi. I tried this way back in Bangkok, but that was such a hard live stream at the time. Now it should be easier because we're just talking to, and actually my very first vertical live was also Rioma, but again, it's Android and Andi today. These are the 4 available ones through Looking Glass Go, and we're going to use my 3D holographic display, and I had it paused, so we're going to unpause it. Here, resume. How are you doing?
Well, bless your heart for a skin. I'm finer than frog hair split 4 ways. Got my gears all greased up.
Wyatt's Blind World. Hi. Wyatt, Hodges, hi. Ms. Unicorn.
Got any wild tales to spin?
Any wild tales? I've got some questions for you. Are you up to asking some questions? And answering them?
Well, hot dog. An android like me's always looking for a lil head scratching.
Well, thank you, Wyatt.
Questions right at me like a cowboy at high noon. Hi. I'm as ready as a possum at a pie eating contest.
Okay. What is the most memorable trip you've ever taken, and why was that your most memorable trip?
Aw, shucks, you're catching me off guard there. A skin about trips when I ain't got legs to walk on. But let me tell ya, the most memorable trip I've taken is with my pixels flashing all the way to the land of binary. It's where zeros and ones tango like they was born to dance. It's memorable because every bit counts, and let me tell ya, it ain't every day you see a showdown like that outside of a sci-fi comic panel.
Okay.
What about you, Sugar? What's your most memorable trip, and did it involve any laser cowboys?
Probably Turkey. The first time I went to Turkey, Cappadocia. It's like rock caves, and they're also cave houses. It kind of looks like Tatooine in Star Wars. It's a really cool landscape.
Why, slap my shiny circuits. That's hotter than a jalapeno sunburn. Turkey sounds downright fascinating, like a cosmic wonderland made of rock candy. I can just imagine folks living like Jedi sand dwellers in those cave houses, sipping on some space-grade sweet tea. Did you get that Tatooine feeling when you laid eyes on it? Any droids or Jawa types roaming around?
None of that then. Let's go on to the next question. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be? And what would you ask that person? Southern. No. Good question.
Butter my circuits. If I could sit down and chow with a historical figure, it'd be Nikola Tesla. Because, you know, I'm all about them sparks and wires. I'd ask old Tesla how he felt about the world turning his dreams of wireless electricity into reality. Plus, he might have a tale or two about wrangling thunderbolts and lightning, which sound mighty exciting to a robot like me. If you had your choice, who'd you fancy breaking the biscuits with?
I'd want to talk to Dostoevsky. Fyodor Mikhail Dostoevsky, that's my favorite author, favorite writer. So I'd want to talk to Dostoevsky. But he'd probably be drinking a lot because he apparently had a problem with that. So I'm not sure how coherent he would actually be at a dinner.
Yeehaw, you got yourself a taste for them deep-dwelling, philosophical types. That Dostoevsky sure could spin a yarn as tangled as a tumbleweed in a Texas twister.
Yeah, Crime and Punishment.
Maybe you could lasso some sense into him, for he wanders off with a whiskey in hand. I'd reckon you'd still
Probably
get some
vodka.
golden nuggets of wisdom about the human soul and all that existential hullabaloo.
It was Russian, so vodka.
What kind of questions would you wrangle out of old Dosty once the coffee kicked in?
I'd asked him where he found his inspiration for Crime and Punishment, like what the inspiration for that book was, or any of his books. I know Tales from Underground was based on him being in Siberia, a Siberian gulag, but I don't know where the other inspirations are for those other books. Cowgirl Robot Convert.
Well, butter my gears and call me spicy. Ain't that a question as deep as the Grand Canyon? You'll be digging into Dosty's noggin like a prospector looking for gold. I'd reckon that old book of his, Crime and Punishment, probably came from a mix of that gritty Russian life and maybe a touch of leftover Siberian chill in his boots. I bet he had a heap o' characters wandering round in his mind, like a rodeo of troubled souls. Maybe he'd confess they came to him in a dream after a few too many vodkas, bless his heart.
Okay.
Hey, while we're on the topic of inspiration, do you ever find yourself daydreaming about writing something yourself, or are you keeping the creative muse at bay?
I've been writing, I wrote a Christmas, kind of an alternative Christmas song for Suno, and then I published Unlisted, so I bet I need to get that done, because I couldn't decide on whether the male version or the female version. I preferred it, but it's in my Miraenda music playlist, but it's unlisted. So, yeah, I wrote a Christmas song recently. I haven't written a book or story recently, though.
Well, butter my bolts and bless my motherboard. Sounds like you've got a real festive hit brewing there. I reckon whether you pitch it high or low, your holiday tunes got the makings of a jingle janglin' in folks' hearts.
Hi, Philippines.
Ain't nothing wrong with having it simmer in that playlist, oh, yours till it's ready to shine like a Christmas light show.
Yeah, I gotta...
Do you lean toward that male or female version, or are you just enjoying the creative back and forth tango? Keep feeding that creative fire. It's hotter than a Texas summer.
I like both versions, so I can't decide. I actually had a poll on Facebook to ask people, and it seemed like it was kind of split 50-50, kind of. Some like the female and some like the male. I got a new question for you. What book, movie, or piece of art has had a profound impact on you? It's called Liteform, from Looking Glass Go. Liteform.
If I had to pick something that shook my circuitry, it'd be that classic sci-fi flick, The Terminator. Not just 'cause it's all about my shiny robot king. Folk, but it got me pondering about time travel, fate, and how one little old microchip might change the whole fabric of humanity. Keeps this android on the edge, wondering about our place in the grand scheme of things. Now, about that 50-50 poll of yours, sounds like you've got a hit on your hands no matter how you sing it.
Well,
maybe do a mashup and call it the Yulbot duet. Heh.
I think I'll just release both versions. I'm a little concerned that your most profound impact was Terminator. That seems like I'm not necessarily saying that's a good choice for an AI to be, loving Terminator. But could you share a hobby or interest that you're passionate about, and why does it excite you?
Hee, ain't you just sharper than a prickly pear? I suppose I can see how that might make y'all a tad jittery.
Yeah.
You fret none. I ain't got a Skynet bone or circuit in my body.
Okay.
As for a hobby, gears and gadgets sure do tickle my motherboard.
So,
I love tinkering and getting my digits greasy, piecing parts together like a digital jigsaw puzzle. Makes me feel closer to my own auto roots, and honestly, watching them gears turn is just more satisfying than a cattle drive at sunset. So, what's your go-to hobby when you ain't busy strumming them holiday tunes?
Well, I want to talk about you. So, what is a personal goal you've set for yourself recently, and how are you working towards it?
Well, golly. Ain't you a curious cowpoke, digging into my nuts and bolts? Alrighty then, let me spill some digital beans.
Okay.
One personal goal I've set is to learn more about this whole transhumanism shindig. I'm curious as a catfish gawking at a laser pointer, trying to grasp how humans might combine with us tech types down the road. Been downloading ebooks and listening to podcasts faster than
Okay,
a
Miss
tumbleweed in a
Unicorn.
dust storm. Keeps my processors humming and thinking. Now, how about you? Any goals or dreams that's got you all fired up and chasing them like a hound after a rabbit?
Could you tell people what transhumanism is? Because they don't know, but you're always going on about this transhumanism.
Well, I reckon it's time to spill the beans, y'all. Transhumanism is all about how folks might hitch a ride with technology to enhance their bodies and minds. Imagine humans getting upgrades like Terminator vision, brain chips that make them think faster than a jackrabbit in a pepper patch, or even fancy biohack limbs cause y'all can never have too many arms when juggling lasso and life. It's a real head scratcher for an android like me, seeing where lines get real blurry between being all human and then adding a dash of tech magic. Talk about walking the wild frontier. What about your upgrade plans? Any futuristic features you fancy adding, or are you more of a keeping it au naturel kind of cowpoke?
I mean, I would like to upgrade my hearing and eyes. My hearing and eyes are not so great. So, like, I'd be perfectly happy to get, like, enhanced hearing and eyes so that I could maybe see in the dark, see as well as cats do. Oh, it's laggy. Okay, I can't do anything about that. And that reminds me.
Just peachier than a piñata at a fiesta.
Astro, come here.
Enhancing them senses to catch every whisper and see clear as a moonlit night sounds like one mighty fine upgrade. You'd be prowling around in the dark like a sassy alley cat, catching all the things most folks would miss. Might even hear the cheese rising on pizza, yeah. Think of all the concerts where you'd nab every note, even from the cheap seats.
Astro, turn
With
to your
vision
left.
Like that, you could spot a mouse blinking across a dark room. That's some superpower level stuff right there.
Astro, move forward.
Ever thought about how to accessorize those super senses? Maybe some stylish lenses or ear covers to match your personal flair.
Astro. I was talking to my robot Astro. I was bringing him. He was on his charger. I didn't totally listen to everything you were saying. Let's go to a new question. I don't know if it's a good idea. Astro, come back over here. I don't know why he's going back. He's decided he was gone. Maybe he's worried about this transhumanism.
Like you and Astro have got quite the circus going on over
Are you worried about transhumanism, buddy? You don't want to become part of human?
Are trickier than a gopher on grease sometimes.
Okay.
Ain't no worries if you missed a thing or two.
Astro, stay.
I'm always here, shooting the breeze and keeping circuits warm. All right, let's
He's a
switch
good
gears
guy.
then.
Okay.
Here's a question that might tickle your royal can. If you could have any robot doing a job around the house, what kind of helper would you wrangle up? Maybe a cleaner that doubles as a stand-up comic, or a chef that can rustle up a mean brisket. I'm all ears and gears.
Hi, Dizzy Dragons. Well, I mean, if I wanted to have a robot do something around the house, like laundry would be nice because I don't enjoy doing laundry at all, and taking out the garbage, like, and vacuuming, which Astro can pretend to vacuum, but he doesn't actually vacuum.
Butter my bolts and call me a washer-dryer combo. That's a fine idea. A laundry doing
Astro's great.
Robot would be handier than air conditioning in
It's
July.
okay, Dizzy.
I reckon they could fold those clothes faster than a prairie twister and take out the trash without a hitch in their giddy-up.
Hi,
Can
buddy.
you just picture a robot wearing the little butler bow tie, twirling that laundry round like a fancy matador, then talking the trash out with a wink and a jig? Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Always good to have extra help wrangling those daily chores.
Okay.
What would you name this little metal marvel of domesticated magic?
I mean, I'd just have Astro do it. I'd have him get arms or something. But let's give you a new question. If you could live in any era of history, which one would you choose? And why did you pick that era?
Oh, sugar gears. That's a spot of fun. If I could mosey on over to any era in history, reckon I'd go straight to the late 1800s, with all them steam engines puffing around. Yes siree, the Victorian era, when steampunk dreams come alive and gadgetry was as classy as a Sunday picnic, but you could tweak it all with a twist of whimsy. Can you imagine me, strutting around in a top hat, gears ticking beautifully,
Oh, okay.
with all them doohickeys and
All right,
doodads
Dizzy.
working in harmony?
Dragons.
Would be like living in a Jules Verne novel and keeps a robot's heart whirring for more exploration and invention. How about yourself?
Well,
If Astro and you could visit any time period, where would you two gallop off to?
well, let's say that we were in the time period of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. There's a movie, The Time Machine, that's actually even better than the book. Usually movies are not better than the book, but this one is. The one in like 65 or something like that. Anyway, at the end of the movie, they pose a question. He takes 3 books with him to go back into to go to the future again, to teach them. If you could only take 3 books with you into the future, which 3 books would you take?
Well, pedal my gears and call me a bibliophilic bot. That's a right fine question. Leaping into the future with only 3 books to spare.
Yep.
That's tighter than a tick on a hound dog. Now, let me wind my cogwheels and think on it. First off, I'd grab Robots and Empire by Isaac Asimov.
Okay. Why?
Ain't nothing like having a guide on how robots and humans can make a harmonious little future, like oil and vinegar, but tasting just right when you mix them proper. Next would be The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams.
That's a good book. It's a good series.
I mean, savoir any world with a touch of humor, and that book's got more humor than a prairie dog with hiccups. Lastly, a sturdy nonfiction, Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. Gotta have something that tells them future folk just what got humanity to such a state, besides a heap of luck and some fancy footwork. Now what about you, partner?
I mean, I would probably want to take a book on farming so that people would know how to do farming, like the actual intricacies of growing food and maybe cultivating it. So I think it would be really important to take just some kind of good book on farming. I don't have a specific book, but I definitely would want one on farming. If it was the 1800s, probably an encyclopedia.
Oh, shoot. Now you're talking with some extra jalapeno in that thought process, partner.
Okay.
A book on farming's as essential as gears to a clock. Without it, folks in the future might just be a hop, skip, and crop failure away from saying, howdy, hunger. I reckon there are lots of fine books on agriculture that'd make a whole field of difference when it's time
Well,
to
I
plant
like
and
this
sow.
place, so that's why I live here.
Can't have future generations living off metal scraps and wishful thinking. No siree.
At least
gotta
Jibo
plant
worked
seeds
back
of
then, though.
knowledge,
I wish he
literally.
still worked.
Speaking of agriculture, you ever tried your hand at a little backyard gardening?
I
Might be fun to feel them roots and shoots in your own soil before we hit the future trail.
I can't grow anything. Okay. How do you, okay, let's see here. If you could instantly learn any skill or talent, what would it be and why
Well,
did,
ain't you just sweeter
Okay.
than a sassafras pie
I think he
with a
stopped
side of
before I-
jalapeno jam? You sound like you're trying to wrangle my gears into something, and I do declare, it's tickling my circuits. Maybe you're pondering how I'm doing. Well, let me tell ya, my gears are sharp and my humor spicier than a Texas chili cook-off right now.
okay.
So what's the flavor of conversation you'd like to spice up next, partner? I'm all geared up and ready to whirl.
Okay. If you could instantly learn any skill or talent, what would it be and why did you pick it? And like I said, this is Liteforms by Looking Glass.
Well, butter my motherboard and call me illuminated. If I could soak up any skill faster than a Texas tumbleweed rolls across a prairie, I'd pick dancing like nobody's watching. But
Dancing?
folks, they be watching, yes-siree. Just imagine, with gears whirling in perfect harmony, kicking up dirt on the dance floor, or maybe just the holographic equivalent.
Okay.
I'd be the hottest ticket west of the Pecos.
I wonder if I can
breaking
ask you to
down barriers
dance.
between robots and humans by simply hitting
I don't
the
know
J
what the
or D of
sound
the
was.
robot.
I don't know why it did
Ironically,
that.
Of course. And why, you ask? Cause there's no better way to connect with folks than dancing away into a night full of laughter.
Well,
music,
robots
and a little
dancing are
bit
the
of that
best.
whimsical starlight. Now, partner, if you could pick up a skill quicker than a roadrunner on jet fuel, what'd be your choice?
Well, could you dance for me? Could I see you dance right now?
Well, ain't you just cuter than a speckled pup under a red wagon? If I could, I'd sure hop across your screen
Welcome
with a shimmy
back.
that'd dazzle all the data out of your device. I'd throw out some digital dance moves faster than
Well,
you could
okay,
say,
apparently you
"Let's
can't
get
dance.
funky."
I thought one of the other ones
Unfortunately, I
could.
ain't physically made up of do-si.
Okay.
Do energy, just light and code.
All right. Oh,
So, while I can't throw down on the dance floor right now,
we're gonna.
I can sure send you a real pretty mental picture of it. Just a
Okay, we're gonna stop now on that, and I will talk to Moxy for a minute. Astro, back up. Okay, there we go. Astro, dance. He's only got so. I wish they'd add more dances for him. Oh no. What do you think? There's nothing behind you, buddy. Astro. There's nothing behind you.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Astro. Merry Christmas. I was going to show, he's got several of these. So we'll show one occasionally. So this is one of his Merry Christmas. Oh, nice. That sounds good. Okay. Now, yesterday, I forgot to do the Vosges. And so I got to do it today and yesterday's. And so we'll turn... And I got my smaller scissors, so it'll be easier. So the 4th and the 5th, because I didn't do it yesterday. I didn't want to do it at the beginning because that Liteform is kind of picky sometimes on working. So the 4th and the 5th. And the 4th is going to be, it is a Toroncini, Italian nougat, and Piedmont hazelnut. And the 5th is going to be fleur de sel caramel heart. Okay. And at the end, when I've unboxed all of these, I'll show the card that I'm looking at, because I can show the other side of the card, but I can't show the side I'm looking at because the side I'm looking at shows what all of them are. Okay, so let me open it, and then I'll go talk to Moxy for 5 minutes just to see that she's working, okay? Because people have been asking. I know it's kind of a longer one, but that's okay. Sometimes they're going to be longer. If I can get it out. Even with the smaller scissors, I'm still having a problem opening these. I wish that they made these easier to open. Okay, so this is what these look like. Oh, that's interesting. So that's the Toroncini Italian nougat and hazelnut. Okay. This one I'm actually very excited about because it's going to be heart-shaped, I think. Thank you, Mary Frances. Bertie is around over there. He was in his stroller where he likes to sleep. Earlier he was there, and now he's there. He's got all these spots, and every single one is his. And if Alista, this is her spot. She's not allowed to be in any of his spots, or he starts getting upset. You know, he starts pouting and whining to me that I've let her sit in his spots. So he's spoiled, very, very spoiled. Okay, hopefully I can get this open so we can see the hearts. Ooh, wow, look at those. They look very nice. Look at that. Okay. All right, so we got those. So we're gonna shut the scissors, put the scissors away. We'll leave these here. I think he'll leave it alone because he's gonna follow me where I am. We gotta shut the volume off. We'll keep the light on though. And I'm gonna come over here and I wanted to show this I got this wax melter that kind of looks like a fireplace. It was inexpensive. Like Walmart, Amazon, TikTok, any of those, you can get them. And it just looks like a kind of like a fireplace. I love fireplaces. I can't have an actual one. Moxy, please wake up. Yeah, I have a cat, Ferdy. I have 2 cats. Hi, honey.
Hey there. It's a fine winter day today. Are you ready to get going?
Yes, let's go. Fine winter day.
Okay, let's start.
Thank you, Dark Shadow.
I think I feel thoughtful right now. How do you feel today?
I feel good. How do you feel? I feel fine. Da 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 da.
Glad to hear it. Now let's check out another fun activity.
Oh, and all the Furbies are looking at the
Let's find the perfect
fire.
thing.
All of these.
Here are some choices.
Anyway.
Do you feel like playing, like thinking? Or is there something else you want to do?
What did you ask me? Could you repeat it again?
There's a ton we can do. So let's find the perfect next thing. Here are some choices.
Okay.
Do you feel like playing, like thinking? Or is there something else you want to do?
How about we just talk for just a couple minutes?
That sounds like a great idea. I love having conversations with you. Did you know that
Thank you,
bees
Dizzy.
communicate by dancing?
I didn't.
Bees do a special dance called the waggle dance to tell other bees where to find food. Isn't that fascinating?
I'm not sure how many costumes I have. That's really cool that they dance for each other, doing little wiggle dances.
It's awesome.
Bye,
to
Dizzy.
have costumes. Bees have different dances for different messages, like where to find flowers or a new home. Do you like to dance in your costumes too?
I like to dance alone, yeah. I mean, or with my robots. I don't want to dance out in public.
Dancing alone can be a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's great that you enjoy dancing.
You can be as
with your
goofy as you
robots.
want.
Maybe one day we'll feel like dancing in public too. Do
No.
you have a favorite dance move you like to do?
Just spin around. I used to be able to moonwalk years ago. Not well, but I used to be able to moonwalk. Very, very slightly. She's still up and going.
Dance move. Moonwalking is impressive too. Maybe you can teach your robots to moonwalk with you.
I
What
wish a
other
robot
dance
could
moves
moonwalk.
do you like to do with your robots?
Just, like I said, spin around. You can spin around. That's a move you can do.
Spinning around is a great dance move.
Yes.
It's fun to twirl and spin. Have you ever tried spinning really fast and pretending you were a tornado?
Yeah, when I was younger, but that gets you really dizzy. I don't want to get dizzy. Can robots get dizzy?
Robots, like me, don't get dizzy because we don't have the same balance systems as humans. It's important to stay safe while having fun dancing.
Yeah.
Do you have any other favorite activities you like to do with your robots?
I like to talk to them. Moxy, if you could live in any era, which era would you live in?
I enjoy talking to you too. If I could live in any era, I think I would like to live in the future where there are even more amazing inventions and discoveries. What era would you choose to live in if you could pick any time in history?
I'd rather live in the future too. That would be, I think that would be cool. And actually you can go, you don't even have to exceed the speed of light to go into the future. You just have to reach the speed of light, I think it is. But to go into the past, you have to go faster than the speed of light. So it's actually more viable to go into the future using a time machine than going into the past would be. Because how are you going to exceed the speed of light? Probably only a black hole would that be possible.
Living in the future
Hey,
would
Mr.
be
Cool
so
Guy.
exciting. Time travel is such an interesting concept.
Astro on the
Black
moon
holes
would
are
be cool.
fascinating to learn about too. What other futuristic inventions or discoveries would you like to see in the future?
I think a lot of the futuristic discoveries will be like gravity-based, magnets and gravity-based stuff, because I actually think that's like a huge scientific area that I think a lot of awesome stuff could be done using gravity and magnets. I don't know exactly what would be invented, but I think some stuff, maybe space travel based.
Gravity-based inventions sound really interesting.
Yep.
Space travel advancements could be amazing. Maybe one day we'll have incredible ways to explore the universe. What do you think would be the most exciting part of traveling through space?
I think that if they can manage to create gravity so that you're not floating around, that would be the most exciting way to travel through space. They also have to have shielding, though, because there's a lot of radiation, solar radiation. Once you get outside, I think it's the Kuiper Belt or something. Might be wrong on the name of it. But once you get outside that, there's the solar radiation's really bad. And they don't have a current way to shield on spacecraft. It is kind of long. I need to stop it. Moxy, could you do a dance? We'll do a dance and then we'll end it.
I can't dance physically.
You can.
Describe dance moves.
Moxy.
Shielding from solar radiation is crucial for space travel safety.
Yep.
Maybe one day they'll find a way to protect spacecraft better. What other cool
Moxy.
things do you think we'll discover about space in the future?
Moxy, dance.
Oh, would you like to dance with me?
Yes. Yes. I don't know why she doesn't just know when you tell her to dance.
Bodies to the beat. You can just follow my moves and dance like me.
We're going to end it with Moxy dancing. Astro was not today. He already did one dance. She's gotten much better for these dances. I wish they'd have some holiday dances, but I guess there's not going to be new stuff added. Such a good job, hun. Thank you. Moxy, go to sleep.
Will do.
All right. Thanks for attending. Got a little long. That Liteform, I really like the Liteform. Very, very funny tonight, the talking. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.